Welcome back to the Social Regressive guys and gals. I have a couple of quick announcements to make before we get down to the videos where I show the pillar bedding and epoxy bedding on this rifle. That's going to be the last real work that we have to put in on this. We might do a couple fun little tweaks on here to just get it ready for the big shoot. But in general, that's just going to be the last of the work, the last kind of time-intensive piece of this whole project. And I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm mostly looking forward to getting out and having some fun testing with this. We have a good hand load now, even using rather inexpensive brass. I'm really excited to see what we can do. But let's jump into this. First off, there is a new source for the Savage 12 FV. I've mentioned before that the only place that you can get this rifle is through either Cabela's or Bass Pro. Now that they've kind of merged, you can get it through either one, and that usually hovers around 420 bucks. And now there is one other place that you can get it in case maybe you don't have access to those stores. Maybe they don't ship to an FFL near you or something like that. You can get this rifle now through the Sportsman's Warehouse. Thank you to Mark Eagle-Eyed, Social Regressive Viewer. Thanks a bunch, man. And remember that the 12 FV is kind of a strange little rifle. It's one that Savage has continued to produce for a while, even though they don't actually list it in their catalog. It's one that you're not going to find on their website. You're not going to find any info out there about it. It's one that's made just exclusively available to these, I guess these three retailers now. It's a really great bang for the buck. The one at Sportsman's Warehouse is going to be a little bit more expensive. Maybe they're going to do the sale every 6 months or year or whatever, like Cabela's and Bass Pro have done for a while now. It's coming in at about 500 bucks for that one, shipped, I believe. So you might want to check it out and see if maybe its shipping matches where you want to be. Yeah, you can check that out. Some other really cool news though. First off, this one's big for a lot of you guys that maybe have wanted to follow along with this project and do a similar rifle. If you have the Savage 10 FC PSR as well, this is going to be a big deal for you. Boyd's has released new inlets to fit not only a heavy barrel channel for a lot of their stocks like this one, the At-1 and the Pro Varmint and others like that. Actually, basically every stock that they have in their catalog for a centerfire rifle. They have released it so that not only can you have a heavy barrel channel up front, but you can have that detachable bottom metal inlet down here. So if you want to be able to run an external magazine, you can do that. I thought that maybe when I had made my purchase that I had kind of run into an error, that maybe I'd ordered the wrong thing. But as I was going through the catalog, I noticed that you couldn't actually get those two things at the same time. You couldn't get a heavy barrel channel and you couldn't get a detachable magazine at the bottom. Those two were kind of mutually exclusive. You either had to get a blind magazine and heavy barrel channel, or you got the sporter weight barrel channel and this. And I ended up with the sporter weight barrel channel and kind of opened it up. And I think that's what a bunch of you guys have been doing too. But I talked with Boyd's for a little bit, and we kind of saw that gap in the catalog. So they've gone in and they've come up with a new inlet. So yeah, now you can get the heavy and you can get the DBM here. And yeah, that should make a whole lot of us a lot happier. It'll be a lot simpler, and you can just drop it in without having to mod anything. And for those of you that maybe you ended up with a stock that does have too narrow a barrel channel, one that's set up for your sporter weight barrels, I'm going to link to a project that I did in the past. That was the Savage Axis. I had to open that one up a little bit as well, and you can see how I did that. You can just use a dowel with some sandpaper on it, and then just kind of thread sandpaper in afterward to make sure that you have enough clearance, and that should do the trick. And yeah, that's what I did with this one right here. Now, the last thing that I wanted to point out is also from Boyd's. If you have a Ruger American, they not only have all their stocks set up for Ruger American. We did a build with one of those where we just swapped the stock on it to get it a lot prettier and probably get it a bit more accurate too. And if you want to know how that's done, because it is a little bit of a trickier process than with the Savages, I'll put a link to that video around here as well. But what they have done is they have come up with their own bottom metal. So Boyd's is now not only in the business of making stocks, but they actually have bottom metal now for the Ruger American. So if you want to be able to run those single feed, kind of single stack short action at least. I don't know if they have long action yet. I haven't seen that. So far they look like they're all short action. But they do have their very own bottom metal now for their own stocks. So you can order the stock with the inlet for detachable mags. Actually, I guess they always do anyway. But yeah, it'll fit up in there, and you can run your like your P mags, the single feed AI ones anyway, and maybe your accurate mags. I'm kind of curious to hear from you guys that have Ruger Americans and see which magazines run in yours. I've tested out a couple in different rifles, and sometimes there's a little bit of incompatibility. I would recommend probably starting with the P-Mags. They're inexpensive. They tend to feed really well. They just run really smoothly through the action. You tend to get just a really quick action overall. Go check those out. So that's it for today. Yeah, in the next video, like I said, we're going to be getting into the pillar bedding and epoxy bedding. Make sure you don't miss that. This is going to apply to all of the Savage models, basically, because they're all just kind of based on 2 action screws, one at the front, one at the rear. And it's actually a pretty simple job. It's just a little bit time intensive, and I'll show you how all that is done. But yeah, I will see you guys around, and thanks to patrons of the Destructive Arts to make videos like these possible. Some of these folks are chipping in $1 or $2 a month to keep these videos coming, and I do appreciate you guys. Thanks a whole lot, and I think everybody else that's viewing these videos appreciates you too. It's nice to be able to get through this whole series eventually. Thank you to especially Sportsman's Guide at the 338 Lapua Magnum level, and Stan & Mary at the 338 Lapua Magnum level. We have Peter at the 300 Win Mag level. You guys are helping keep the lights on, keep the cameras rolling, and keep us in some of the gear and reloading equipment that you see back here. If anybody else wants to chip in $1 or $2 a month, I'll put a link around here. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Even if you didn't like this particular content, go ahead and subscribe. There's probably something coming that's more up your alley. Check out this playlist right here. This is going to have videos in a similar vein to what you just watched. These 2 videos we cherry-picked for you. And finally, The Social Regressive is on Patreon. So you can become a patron of the Destructive Arts and earn some goodies while helping us to provide high-quality videos just by kicking us a few bucks a month. Thanks a bunch for your patronage.